I'm Michelle Chalfant, psychotherapist, holistic life coach, and human just like you, learning to navigate life's challenges. With over 25 years experience, I teach people how to get healthy using the adult chair model. The adult chair model is where simple psychology meets grounded spirituality, and it teaches us how to become healthy adults. From anxiety and depression to codependency and relationship issues, you can use the adult chair for just about anything. Each week, I share practical tips, tools, and advice from myself and a wide range of experts on how to get unstuck, how to live authentically, and how to truly love yourself, all while sitting in your adult chair. Welcome to the Adult Chair Podcast. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Adult Chair Podcast. I am Michelle Chalfant. Happy to be here with you on the first week of December. Crazy, crazy. Today we're talking about guilt. Yes. And can guilt be healthy? I'm here to tell you it can be when we do it through the lens of the adult chair. Of course it can be healthy. But many of us fall into unhealthy guilt, which is guilt from the adolescent chair. That's the ego latching on and keeping us stuck in guilt and telling us false stories. So we're going to talk all about that today. And I want to thank all the people that wrote in about this. This was inspired by the Adult Chair closed group on Facebook. You guys really wanted to hear about guilt and how to do it healthy and how to release guilt. So thank you. And this is for all of you guys, because I know it's a tough subject. It's a really, really tough subject. And we can really fall into guilt a lot during the holidays. And this holiday is just a different one for sure because of all that's going on with COVID. And it's just been a very tricky holiday season for sure. It's been a tricky year, let's face it. So we're going to jump right into guilt in one moment. First, I just need to thank our sponsor for today, which is Storyworth. You guys, for so many of us, the holidays are going to look different. They already have. I mean, for us, I know in Thanksgiving, it was a very thin Thanksgiving. We did not have the usual big giant gang of family members and friends coming over. But it doesn't mean that we should not stop from feeling close to other people that we love. This is why this year I've been searching for meaningful gifts, like knowing that this year was going to be a different one. I've been searching for meaningful gifts, and I really wanted to find something that was unique, and I found Storyworth. Storyworth gives people a chance to tell their story and share memories along the way. So we feel very connected using this service, even though we're not physically present with each other. And I love this because, of course, I've got a child that's in England and I've got a child that's in Tennessee. And the child that's in England, I'm not going to be seeing this year, not till next year, probably next summer. But with Storyworth, I feel really, really connected to all of my kids and even other family members that I'm not able to see all the time. Storyworth is an online service that helps your loved ones share stories through thought-provoking questions about their memories and personal thoughts. It's a fun new way to engage with family, especially those you can't see in person. So what happens is every week, Storyworth emails your family member different story prompts, questions that you've never thought to ask them. Things like, what's a small decision that you made that ended up having a big impact on your life? Or something like, if you could see your future, what would you want to find out about what's coming in the future? Or what's your favorite meal? Like all kinds of really cool questions. And then your family members answer them. And then it's so cool because then we get to read the weekly stories and it's so fun. And it makes me feel really close to my family members that I cannot see all the time. I found some really interesting things out about my son in England that I never dreamed. Things like, what's your ideal future? And he responded that he'd like to actually stay living in Europe, which was a little shocking to me. But I was like, wow, that's kind of shocking. But I was happy for him. And he said, this would make me so happy. So it was really fun to read his stories. So what happens is after a whole year of collecting emails from your family members, Storyworth compiles all of your stories, including photos, into a beautiful keepsake book that's shipped to you then for free. So I plan, of course, to keep this book out on my coffee table and let other people see and learn all about the family. And then when my family gets together, they'll be able to read it. So it's just a really, really fun way. And it's such a meaningful gift. So give your loved ones the gift of spending time together, whether you're live with them or not, with Storyworth. Get started right away with no shipping required by going to storyworth.com/adult, and you get $10 off your first purchase. That's storyworth.com/adult for $10 off. All right, let's go ahead and jump into guilt. This is about all things guilt. And how do we do guilt from the adult chair? Because we really want to be healthy adults, and we do get stuck sometimes in guilt, and it throws us into the adolescent chair and we start backpedaling. So this is how we're going to do guilt. I want to start out by saying that guilt is a very healthy emotion. And let me back up. Let me just say there's a big difference between guilt and shame. And I feel like people oftentimes fall into shame and they're labeling it as guilt. So let me just say, shame says, I am wrong. I am bad. I, as a human, who I am is broken. Where guilt says, I did something wrong. So it's more about an action, and shame is about the person that I am. I feel like I am wrong with shame, versus guilt says I did something. It's more of an action. It's a verb. Okay. So that's the difference. And I find a lot of times people say, oh, I feel so guilty. And really they feel like they are broken, like they're bad because of their action. So, but guilt can be a very, very healthy emotion. Guilt is good because it actually directs us into being healthy with other human beings. So if we have made a mistake of some sort, or if we've hurt someone, whatever it might be, guilt is healthy when we then have those emotions or thoughts or feelings that say, oh my gosh, I think I might have hurt so-and-so, or I think I might have done something wrong when I said that to them in front of everybody because they're not talking to me. I feel guilty that I did that. That's actually very, very healthy. We like guilt. Guilt's a good thing because guilt helps us to maintain healthy boundaries with others, helps us to be healthy just with other human beings. It helps to keep us conscious, or if we're conscious, then we would see guilt as just an awareness that I might have done something wrong. So the question is, if we feel guilty and we've done something or said something to another that's creating this like, oh, I feel terrible, I can't believe I did that. Instead of going into the beating up of self of why did I do that? I'm so bad. And that again starts to slide us into shame. Instead, what we want to do is, as a healthy adult from the adult chair, what we do is we want to own it. So if I've said something to someone and it hurt their feelings, or I did something that really hurt someone, whether I meant to or not, okay, we want to own it. Own it. And you want to say to yourself, oh my gosh, I did this. I hurt my friend. I hurt my loved one. That's number one. Number two, we want to take responsibility and apologize. So I am so sorry, Janet, that I said that to you in front of everyone. I'm sincerely sorry for what I said to you in the group. That's owning it, and that's apologizing. Not an apology, let me remind you, is not saying, I'm so sorry that you feel that way. That's not an apology. An apology is when you take full ownership of your part and you say, I am sorry. I'm so sorry that happened. I'm sorry I did that to you. So I lied to you, and I'm sorry that I hurt you. I don't know why I lied to you, but I did. Or something like, Bob, I was really jealous. And I'm embarrassed to say that, but it's true. And that's why I acted the way I did. And I'm so sorry. And then here's the last part. Here's the mending. What can I do to make this better? What can I do to make us come together now? Can you please forgive me for this? What do I need to do? What can I say? And then you wait for their answer. And it might, the person that you've hurt might need a minute, might need a week, might need some time. And that's okay. That's okay. But wait for it, and that person will get back to you, hopefully, at some point. And if they don't, you know what? Sometimes that happens too. But what I find is when you sincerely go up to someone that you've hurt, whether, again, you said something or did something, and you sincerely, from your heart of hearts, apologize for it and own it and own all of your part, People may need a minute, but they typically come around. They will come around and say, you know what? I really appreciate you taking ownership of that. I really appreciate you apologizing. I need you not to do that again. And here's what I need. I need you to go and apologize to all the other people that were in the group, or I need you to own it to the other, whatever they need. And then your answer is, I absolutely will do that. Thank you. Period. Thank you. Period. That's it. And then you move on. So again, guilt is steering you and letting you know, oops, a mistake was made. Something was said or done, and you've hurt someone else. So that's okay. We want some inner part of us to navigate us and let us know that we've hurt another. So that's when guilt is actually okay. Guilt is not okay when we are stuck in it and can't get out. It's like we're walking and we've got chewing gum stuck to the bottom of our shoe, and like we can't release it. We can't move on from it. And the reason that happens, that guilt, people say like, I'm overtaken with guilt. I can't move on. I feel so guilty. All of these things let me know that we've slid straight into that adolescent chair, and we're now in that broken record and that repeating story of what I did wrong or what I said that was wrong. And that's, I hate to say this, when we keep ourselves stuck. We keep ourselves stuck. And we do that because we're listening to the ruminating voice that's happening inside of us. So I can't believe I did that. I can't believe I hurt them like that. I can't believe I did that. I can't believe I'm so bad. And again, that starts to slide us into shame. So what we want to do instead, again, is really look at what we did. So this is the resolve to stuck guilt when we're stuck in it. In order to get unstuck from a ruminating thought, what we need to do is, again, feel the emotion, because we're going into shame when we're ruminating over and over and over. We start feeling like, I'm so bad. Oh God, I'm so bad. When instead, I feel guilty. There's the emotion. And now here's the resolve. Again, claim your part, but only your part, and then apologize, just like I said. But what I find people do sometimes is they over apologize. They go on and on and on and on and on. No, to get out of this stuck guilt, again, figure out what the heck you did or said that was hurtful to someone else and choose to move on. Stop listening to the ruminating thoughts about it. The way that you break the rumination is to, again, feel the guilt. Okay, there is guilt there. Oh, I do feel so bad. And then you take action. Take action. When you're stuck in guilt, it's because you're not taking action forward out of it. So give yourself permission to move forward, okay? And take action. It's a choice to continue to beat up on self. When we go into the rumination of beating up over and over and over and over and over again, it's a choice that we're not making out of it. When we have ruminating thoughts, we're sitting squarely in the adolescent chair, and it's the ego that's just on a broken record. So we have to take action to get ourselves out of that place. So take ownership, apologize, and ask that person, how can I make this better? How do I make it better? Now, many times we have unnecessary guilt, and it's not healthy guilt. It's guilt for speaking up and sharing our truth and taking care of ourselves. We want to be authentic. And what I hear oftentimes is people say, oh, I could never say that to so-and-so. That's hurtful. I'd feel so guilty. So when I hear that, I wonder about self-worth. And if I have a strong inner value of self, okay, then setting a boundary for what I need and what I desire in my life is okay, and it's healthy. So, for example, I've been talking to some people about this because of the holiday season and COVID and not showing up for holidays and not feeling comfortable. And again, I think people misuse the word guilt, or they really do feel guilt and it's just not healthy. So when people say things like, I just heard this the other day from someone, I'm not going to be able to go to my family's house for the holiday. I feel really guilty about that. So I remember I was speaking to this woman and I said, why, have you done something wrong? No, I told my family that I'm not going to be able to come. And my family is really excited to see me, but I just don't feel comfortable traveling right now. And I feel guilty. So maybe I should go. And this was a client. We were going back and forth. And I said, well, wait, where's the guilt? Did you do something wrong? Did you hurt someone intentionally? Well, no. Did you say something hurtful to make someone else look bad? Like, I went through all these questions. Well, no. And I said, so what exactly happened here? If you've done nothing wrong and you're just sharing that you just don't feel comfortable. And she said, well, I feel guilty because I'm going to hurt everyone if I don't show up for the holiday. I said, okay, so let's break this down. So I helped get her back in her adult chair. I said, listen, I understand that you feel bad, but I said, what else do you feel? I said, so you feel this guilt, she said, oh, I feel just really bad. She says, they're going to be hurting if I don't show up. I said, okay. And why is that a bad thing? It's okay. You're not doing it intentionally. You're trying to take care of your family. I understand that. So you don't want to go. That's fine. And she says, well, my family's already said they're really upset and disappointed if I don't come. I said, and here's the thing, you guys, it's okay if other people are upset and disappointed if you're making a choice to protect yourself and your family. Now, if you're making a choice that's intentionally hurting family and then they're disappointed and hurt and sad, that's a different story. Then I would say that there's an apology that needs to happen. But this woman simply was taking care of her family, wanting to keep them safe. And her belief was, I don't want to travel. I don't want to get on an airplane. I don't even want to drive there because I just don't want to be around all of these other people during the holiday. I want to keep myself safe and my family safe. Her belief. And I said, if your family is not in line with your belief, it's okay. And if they're sad, that's okay too. And from our adult, let me tell you, if you're someone that identifies with codependency, this is really difficult when other people feel sad or if they feel bad. So the healing of that even is the same healing I'm going to suggest here, which is sit in your own feelings around other people feeling sad or hurt or disappointed. But guilt actually doesn't exactly belong here. It's just okay. It's okay. So I actually broke it down with her further and I said, tell me more of what you're feeling. She says, well, I just love my family so much and I don't like to let them down. I said, I get that. I totally get that. I get that. I said, well, what's going to happen? She goes, I just might go because I really don't want them to feel sad. I said, so you're going to, and this is what we do when we take action for others. I said, you're going to betray yourself and your wishes and your truth in order to make others happy. And she says, well, I didn't see it like that before. And I said, well, that's what you're doing. You're putting your truth aside. And that's not healthy at all. You're betraying yourself for the sake of making others happy and keeping others, in a good place. And she says, well, when you put it like that, then I don't want to go. And I said, yeah. And I said, well, what's going to happen if you go? She says, well, I'll be really anxious. I don't really want to be around anyone. She goes, I'm really scared. I don't want to get sick and all of this. And I don't want my family to get sick. I said, okay. So I said, your feelings matter. That's your truth. And it's okay if nobody else gets your truth. It doesn't matter even what I believe or anyone on the whole planet. Our truth is our truth. But having guilt over that exactly doesn't line up with guilt. Guilt says, I did something bad. I did something wrong. And I said, you standing up for what you believe in is not something wrong or bad. It's you standing up for what you believe in and you're making a choice. Other people are going to feel hurt. I said, so how else does that make you feel? She says, well, I don't like when I hurt when my family's hurting. I said, okay. What else? And I said, well, how does it make you feel that they're going to be kind of sad that you're not going to be there? She said, I understand it. And she says, and I'm sad too, but it makes me actually feel a sigh of relief, a sense of relief by not going. And she said, but I don't like that they're hurting. And I said, that's okay. You can actually have both emotions. You can have your relief and you can feel sad that they're sad, and that's okay. but you've done nothing wrong. Guilt steers us into authenticity and taking responsibility. He said, I don't even know what you need to take responsibility for here because you've done nothing wrong. So I hope that explains guilt. It's a little different. So when we say, I feel guilty because I'm making a choice and it's going to hurt someone else, but if that choice is lining up with your truth, then guilt, there's no place for guilt there. You can be sad about it. Of course, we don't want to hurt others. We don't want others to feel sad. But I mean, I'm sad that my son isn't coming. When I asked my son, hey, is there any way you can come back for the holiday from England? No way, he'll have to be in quarantine. That makes me sad, but I don't want him to feel guilt about it. He can be sad too. Be sad with me. We can all be sad about it. Sad is okay, but really identify what is your true emotion. What's under the guilt? If you think you're feeling guilt about something like that, but go underneath it and really break it apart. So to end, I just want you to know guilt is a really healthy emotion. It guides us into living authentically and into healthy adult living. If I've made a mistake and I've hurt someone, man, I want my guilt to kick in and I want it to guide me back to taking responsibility and apologizing and then moving on with my life. We don't want to be stuck in that guilt. We can see guilt as a tool for healthy living, or we can let it overtake us and be stuck in it. It's ultimately your choice, and we make choices about our lives from our adult chair. So keep it in balance by staying in your adult chair. Stay in fact and truth in the moment. Are you making a choice not to visit so-and-so because you're a mean person or because you're trying to take care of yourself? Think about it in that way. That'll help you to identify if you're truly in guilt or if you're just feeling another emotion. Okay. That's all I've got for you guys today. I will see you next week right here. Have a great week, you guys, right here in the adult chair.